building, and this week I've brought my team to a place that's no stranger to us. This ancient building never ceases to amaze me with a constant paranormal activity. This time we're ready for the Old Hall, Tatton Park. A nemesis for most haunted, and a location that is truly steeped in history. This building sits within the magnificent grounds of Tatton Hall and stands near the disappeared Tatton village. The site is a scheduled ancient monument that receives thousands of visitors each year. The house was built in the 15th century, and the Great Hall was the original room at the time. Sir Thomas Egerton, Lord Chancellor of England, owned the property from 1585, where he then commissioned the rest of the house to be built. The building has remained in the family up until 1958. Many different families have lived in the house, most of them employed by the main hall. Each family had their own stories to tell, and some of them refused to leave. The ghost of a man known locally as Tom has made himself known to many people. Guests and staff have reported a strangling sensation and a growling noise in the main hall. Poltergeist activity is rife, and the ghost of an unknown woman has been seen on many occasions. We have never had confirmation of who truly haunts here, but maybe tonight we would. I'm sitting in the main hall, which is the original part of the building and dates back to 1490. But it's what haunts this particular part of the building that intrigues and frightens me. Visitors and staff report a strangling sensation and a guttural growling noise in their ear. A very nasty, evil entity resides in this place, but who are they? And why do they continually, violently haunt this part of the building? Here in the Victorian dining room, the paranormal activity can be terrifying. Loud knocking noises and an intense feeling that something or someone is breathing right down your neck. Knocking sounds have been heard in the 1950s room. The kitchen area and the corridor is where poltergeist activity occurs regularly. The main hall has a horror all of its own. Bearing all this in mind, this floor would be enough for most investigators, but for us, it's just the beginning. In total contrast to the rest of the hall, the upper floors have a totally different feeling. The rooms are bare and the atmosphere chilling. Loud knocking noises, footsteps, whistling are often heard when the rest of the building is totally silent. A reliable eyewitness is key to investigating any haunted location. And Mick Ricketts is no exception. A steward that has been looking after the Old Hall for many years has witnessed his fair share of strange happenings.
I think the most interesting and perhaps the most active room is the room that we're in. We've just had proof that the camera's gone down. The battery, which should last for 3 days, has gone down as well. It's one of my favourite rooms as well, so perhaps Eleanor's sort of playing with us a bit. The Great Hall can be very active in a very earthy, dark way as well. And there have been tales of a man with a big beard smelling of beer and body odour coming up to mediums and saying, "Get out, get out." So perhaps the Great Hall might be one of the most active rooms. If you want something a little bit more gentle, then perhaps the 1940s, 50s rooms might help. Because there are people living there. Last person to leave left in 1960, and you get the idea of quite domestic harmonies. So you've got this sort of ambivalence, haven't you? You've got the dark side of the hall, and we've got the nice family light side.
A very negative entity resides at the old hall, and in the past we have only guessed at whom it could be. Could demonologist Fred Batt unveil the dark spirit that has terrified so many people?
The building is said to be haunted by a number of female spirits. But there is also a male entity, a very powerful one, called Tom, who at one time was a poacher, but ended up here as a gamekeeper. Very violent person, was violent to his wife, and then drank himself into an early grave. Whether Tom's his real name, we don't know, but it's what people refer to him as. One particular dark entity is said to attack women when they come into this building. Many have said they felt a rope gradually tightening around their neck as though it's being pulled by someone behind them.
My nerves were already showing, as in the past my experiences with the old hall had given me many sleepless nights. So I was pleased that skeptic Glenn Hunt was on hand to try to dispel my fears.
Now, Glenn, it's no secret. I have said many times, this has to be, in my opinion, one of the most haunted locations I've ever investigated. I've been here 4 times, it always delivers, and I'm sure it's going to deliver tonight. I am very nervous already about investigating tonight. I just think it's just going to be as lively as ever.
Well, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you, actually. The fact that you've been here so many times before and you're coming here again tonight and you're saying that you're still scared, automatically it's putting you in the frame of mind to expect certain things to happen. And I think you're going to have to dismiss everything that's gone before and look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. If I experience any of those things that you've experienced, then that could quite possibly change my mind. But at the moment, they're only your experiences, so we'll have to wait and see. But there could be a perfectly rational explanation for any of these things. You know, it's in a very old location, it's a very old house. I mean, you even have to look at it from the outside. It lends itself to look like a haunted house. And when you go around the rooms, they're all set up from different eras. There's a 1940s room, there's a 1950s room as well. There's this great hall. If you're in these rooms in the dark, it's automatically setting your mind up to assume that you're in some kind of portal, you're in a time of the past, and it could play tricks with your mind. So it doesn't necessarily have to be paranormal things that are going on, but just things that your mind are imagining are going on.
It's very interesting because you have witnesses that work here that have experienced strange phenomena. I mean, what do you think about this particular room here where people are experiencing this strangling sensation?
Well, this is a very famous location, as it turns out. You only have to type in onto the internet, Tatton Hall, and it comes up on reams and reams of information about what people have heard or experienced, and then you read that, do you believe it? And then you go into the location, you start to automatically assume this is going to be happening to you as well. I've purposefully not looked at any information about this location tonight, so anything that does happen, and it might tally with something that's happened before, then I will find that interesting. But at the moment, it could be just a self-perpetuating thing that happens in the mind.
In my mind, this place is haunted.
Okay, but it can't be that bad, otherwise you wouldn't keep coming back.
I'm intrigued. I'm terrified, but I'm intrigued.
So am I.
I can't wait for the first time you scream. I hope we get it on camera.
The night had drawn in and the building had dropped dramatically in temperature. We were ready to take our group walk around, with Eamon Van Harris monitoring any EVP we may get. The rest of us started in the Victorian parlour.
When we come into this room, this to me is, you know, a fantastic room, but at the same time terrifying. I'm going off my experiences that I've had in this room in the past. To me, it's creepy, it's eerie, the atmosphere is horrendous to me. It's like all the hairs on the back of my neck have gone vuv. I can't bear it in here. I can't explain it to you. It's a weird...
What happened to you in here before?
Oh, poltergeist activity, things being thrown, but with such force. Stones, but big stones, coins, you know,
So
cutlery, really strange.
Yeah.
And the loud, not just tapping, knocking, but like somebody had got a big jackhammer and was smacking it against the wall. And it was terrifying to the point where it wasn't an investigation we were doing on one of the... What was that?
I have no idea.
I heard it.
That just made me jump. Yeah.
I saw you jump.
That was really weird.
See, it's starting, I'm telling you.
There's nobody else in this area at all. This is just... Yeah, sure.
I was about to say it's quite a confined space, but there's 3 doors. There's nothing to stop anybody accidentally knocking anything, and there's no reason why, you know, something couldn't have been knocked behind the team there. So
No.
So it could have been an accidental nudge of something.
You seem quite
Because
upset with this whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
Here.
I'm telling you, when the lights go off, this place is going to kick off. I've seen it before.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Did anybody trip over anything there?
Right.
Well, we were all here.
What was that?
We're all this side of this, and something happened down there.
I'm telling you.
Let's go through this.
Right.
Look at this. That's freezing cold. Look
What
at this,
is it?
guys.
Pass that over.
That's what was either thrown or fell. But
Oh yeah, that's freezing cold, so it's not like anybody had this in their hand, I suppose, but...
Yeah, but I saw
think,
everybody was here.
Yeah.
Everybody was here.
we're all accounted for.
That's the second thing that's thrown from down here. Should we carry on walking through?
Yeah,
should we put that back on the
definitely.
shelf and see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think also when you've got things dressed up to the period, it makes things more active. It's
Yes.
like you've had a couple of places out before when you've actually dressed up
Yeah.
in uniform, and that, I think that makes things a lot more active.
Well, they do a lot of reenactments here as well, so they have a
Right.
lot of people dressing up, and you're quite right. And you know, when they do the battle reenactments, a lot of the soldiers... That's behind... Did you see that?
No, it always seems to be happening when I'm not looking, and that's the frustrating
Stuck
thing.
there, and it's hit him right in the back. There's nobody there.
No one
It's a
there.
different one.
Can I just see if there's anybody through there? Just
Yeah, go
to
for
be
it.
for the sake of it. Excuse me.
And is that
Actually,
door
let's have a
closed?
look out
Follow
the
it,
way.
just follow Glenn. Yeah.
Where would that have come from, innit?
Well, I think it's going to get really interesting here tonight.
What did you find?
Well, we just went into the other room there, and we could see through to the Great Hall where Eamon's doing his EVP with his headphones on, so we can rule Eamon out from being in there. And one thing I did find in there, it's very easy to hear footsteps whilst you're walking
Yeah.
around, so there were no footsteps, there was nobody in the room. So whatever it was, came from nowhere.
I've never experienced anything in this particular part of the building, but other people have. I know Carl and Stuart in the past have had things happen to them. So,
This is meant to be a 1950s
Yeah.
period, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
It's interesting. Like you say, it's dressed. There's an air of anticipation in this room, but again, like all the others,
Listen. Hello. How are you? Do you remember me? You do. That's good. Yeah. Are you? Can we all hear this?
I can hear it. I'm trying to
It's
work
coming
out where it's
through
coming
on
from.
sound.
It is.
Yeah.
How many of you don't want us here? 4. There are 4 of you who don't want us here.
4 again.
4 again. So, are the 4 of you that don't want us here, are you going to do your damnedest to get us out? Well, bring it on. Yeah, and you. That was a big mistake to make. Okay, let's move on. Now, allegedly, a lot of people don't like this room. There's supposed to be the spirit of a woman who stands at the window. She's been seen many times, a lady in white.
Okay.
And she's looking out the window, waiting for somebody to... What?
Finish the knitting.
Finish the knitting. Waiting for something or someone.
Okay.
I was going to say, you know, there's a lot of reports about there being a negative energy here in the main hall. There's growling in the ear. And throughout the whole building, you being a demonologist, do you...
That was right under me.
Go and see what that was. It's right there on the floor behind you, Greg. There, go.
That was
It's like a...
that landed right underneath there, underneath the bench that I was standing on. It rolled underneath.
Socks. Wherever that's come from.
Does it come from in here?
It always seems to be it just happens behind us, doesn't it?
There's
Nobody.
there is no one on this floor whatsoever. Eamon is downstairs and has been sitting there still with his earphones on. I've just ran straight to the top of the stairs. I've looked in all the rooms. No one is on this floor except for us.
Okay.
And that's come from this way.
Well, we're getting a lot of this. I think we'll get a lot more knocking.
Definitely.
To say this is the room which most people don't like, it feels like the most homely, but again, I don't know, that's the way it's set out with all the the artefacts and everything, it just seems quite like a normal room. It doesn't seem anything difficult about it.
No, I know. There's nothing.
It's the older part of the building, so you're going to get a lot more activity than you would in the Victorian part we were in. So up here, you probably get a lot more happening.
Yeah?
Eamon's got some stuff.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
This is really interesting, this. Do you know how I've been keeping track of all the voices and activity?
Yeah.
I'm going through before, when I was testing the equipment to see if everything was working. Do you know what? I'll play it to you 3 times. Have a listen to this.
Okay.
This is me testing the equipment.
Okay.
Okay, just a quick test to see if you can hear me. Okay, just a quick test to see if you can hear me. See. And what's interesting about this, it actually sounds like, I don't know if they're responding to me or if they're having a conversation, if this is 2 entities.
Well, it sounds
There's
like 2 different voices,
yeah.
doesn't it? That's absolutely fascinating. It's very exciting.
Brilliant, I can't wait this
Right, I would really like to turn all the lights off in the building now. Can I just say to everybody, please be very, very careful. Watch your back. I'm telling you now, stuff's going to happen.
Can I watch your back?
No.
With all the lights off, the old hall had taken on a very sinister atmosphere. It was decided that Leah and I would be the first to go it alone in the house. Eamon had very kindly left the EVP device switched on to hopefully record any disembodied voices that may try to communicate with us. I wasn't sure we'd even make it to the front door.
Me and Leah walking over to the old hall on our own. Let's see how far we can go. Yeah, this is not good. When you see it looming there, look, in the dark.
Right, hang on.
I can't actually see anything at the minute. Hang on a minute.
Wait.
What's the matter?
What? Right, okay. I just think we need to be careful on our own. I'm a little bit scared actually doing this.
Come on. Let's see how far
If we're not comfortable there, we can stop, yeah?
Yeah. Let's just get up to the door. Right.
So if we don't like it, we can run away.
Yeah. There's the door. What? Shh. What was that? Oh no, it's that EVP.
It's going mental, Yvette.
Go on, let's see how far we can go.
I don't think I can do this. It keeps catching me. Yvette, I really don't think I can. Don't leave! Get out! Don't leave me! Don't leave me! Just
I'm not
yeah, I'm not going to leave you.
Just leave because I'll fall.
I can't do that. That is going mental. It did that really loud one.
The EVP is just going nuts. It's like you can hear voices. Yeah, right, we're going in the haunted house.
Great idea, Carl. No. You can't do this. I'm not sure I can do it, Yvette.
Yeah, come on. Let's just see if we can...
Where are you going to go? Actually inside? Like, look at my whole body, physically shaking. Are you actually going to go in the door?
Well, I think we've got to give it a try, really.
My whole body is trembling. scared.
Hello? Hello? Right, I don't like it. Don't,
Yvette,
no,
I
don't,
won't
don't.
leave you. I won't leave
tell
you, but...
No, I tell you what. Wait.
No, no.
I tell you why. So I tell you why I freaked out. Because the EVP, when I went hello, it just completely stopped.
Exactly. Right, let's make our way back. This is not safe to be. That is...
Just wait, Leah. With Leah and I having nerves of steel, we thought it only right for us to pass the buck to Carl. We were sure he would at least get inside the building.
Well, I've decided to come down to the house on my own, which probably isn't the best thing to do because it is quite a scary place. Even the door kind of is quite ominous. It's just stupid. I've just got to get in there. Everyone else is right over there, right in the distance. The EVP's been going. Lots of things have happened already. And there's the door. Quiet. It's so quiet. Is anyone here? I'm not afraid of you. I am, but just don't let on. Can you show yourself to me? Show yourself to me. Make a noise. Make a sound. I have to say, the bang. I'll just turn the infrared back on. Okay. Hello? The one thing I can't explain is how quiet it is here and how scared I actually am at this present moment in time. You kind of almost, you don't know what's around any corner. Where the Archie, whatever his name was, the dummies over there. I was taking a mickey out of it. What was that? Hello? Is anyone here? Show yourself to me. Don't mean you any harm. Whoa! I didn't even know where that came from. What was it? Hello? Movement. There's movement in that room. There's movement in this room now. I can't move too quickly because I can see the door, so no one can. There's only this door. Oh! Hello? That was in this room. There is no one in this room. You can see that. There's the door, and that's not been opened. I'm standing at this door, and every single one of you at home heard that bang. And that bang came right from in this room. Are you here? Noisy. No, there's a noisy. There's a bang. Hello? There's a really nasty feeling in here now. Really nasty. Can you hear those bangs? Do you mean us any harm? 1 foot yes, twice for no. Make a sound. Move something. What's that? Oh, right. Oh, I can't get the light on properly. There we go. That's infrared we use it. I can't see any more than that. That just gives the infrared. Oh. What was that? Right. I'll turn you for off. It's too bright close up. Right. I know this sounds really bad. I cannot tell you the fear I've got in me at this present moment. I'm going to go back in the crew room because I can't see anything. That was just too much. Right. Where's the door? Too much. That is just too freaky. Much too freaky.
With safety in numbers, we decided to stick together for a while and try to communicate with the entity that was certainly not shy.
Can you tap? Hello?
Yeah, that's from the wall.
It's always in this room.
That's right by you, Greg.
That sounds more like footsteps, doesn't it?
Hello? Is John Edgerton here? The person who's very violent, the person who doesn't like women, are you here? Okay, am I speaking to that person now? Am I speaking to that person now? Oh, you want to play games? Were you a gamekeeper here? Why are you so violent? Are you the person responsible for strangling people? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Constant knocking, constant bump, 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 bump.
10. 10 bangs.
So why? Why do you like to do this? Why? Did you murder somebody? Yes. I'll ask that question again. Can you make the answer clear? Did you murder somebody? Did you want to murder someone? I'll ask the question again. 2 for yes, 1 for no. Did you murder someone? No, it's playing games.
I'm getting a cold breeze all around the back of my head.
Are you?
Yes.
And I think we should split up in a bit. I'd like to try the rest of down here first.
It's still knocking crazy.
Yeah, keep going because in my past experience, the knocking is really loud throughout the whole of this ground floor. Tapping.
Is it tapping from upstairs now?
No, it's here. It's a heartbeat. Listen, listen, listen. It sounds to me like it's coming from the corridor. Heartbeat. It's a heartbeat. Throw this knife down the corridor.
Where are you from?
Did you hear that? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Oh,
I heard it.
right there. That was a.
It was a... Yeah.
Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Throw it down the corridor.
Okay.
Hold on. Hang on. Did that not just bounce off
No,
the
this
wall?
is not safe.
Where is it? Can you see
Threw it down there.
Where is it? Where is it?
I don't.
I don't know.
I can't even see it.
Have you got a
There it
torch?
is.
Oh, it's a spoon!
It's a spoon. It's not even a knife.
That's an old spoon.
I threw it at the same time. Freaking. That's bizarre. That's brilliant. Right,
Can we try that again?
Do it again. Do it again.
Can I throw
Throw
one?
that back.
Throw
I've
that
got a
back.
fork.
No, throw the spoon back.
Why is it? Listen.
No, that was.
That was the spoon.
No. It was,
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I'm putting that on the side.
Right, what are we doing first?
Throw
Go
something
on to
else.
point.
Throw something else. Throw the spoon back. We don't want that spoon, it's old.
What are you doing now, Leah?
Throw it down the corridor.
Throwing down the corridor.
Right.
Go on, throw it down.
Whoa. What the hell?
What's come back now?
No, I don't
Oh.
think that came back. I think that just bounced and landed.
Yeah.
No.
You didn't.
Yvette, I've got it. I've got whatever it was Leah threw on camera landing in the corner over there in those jugs. And that literally landed on the floor.
Great.
Look at the size of it.
It's
a cake
it's a
fork.
what's it fork, isn't it? Yeah.
Can I have it?
It's one of those posh forks.
Yeah. Let's keep the energy
Yes.
going, guys.
Right, okay.
Go.
I'm going to put this back on there.
Yeah, you put it on there, Carl. This is amazing.
Right, go.
Right.
Throw it back.
Where are we going?
I've got this fork.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw it down the corridor.
Okay. Right, you ready? Right, okay, throw it.
Did you see where it landed?
Yeah, I can see where it's landed, just on the other side of the door.
Nothing came back.
No.
Typical.
I'll actually zoom in.
That's because you're all concentrating on it now. Come back, turn around.
See it there?
Guys, listen to me. Listen to me, Stewie. Just concentrate, just try something else. Just, here's the little fork again. Let's just, we're talking, this is how it works, okay? And then, watch out, come forward. Right, okay, throw it back. Right, and then we just carry on now. Let's just carry on, and then something might come back.
Okay.
So I've not heard much from Eamon. How you feeling, Eamon?
Yeah, alright. A bit warm now, actually.
Do you know what I think we should do now? I think, how do you fancy, Eamon? I don't even know why I'm suggesting this. Do you fancy going in the cellar, Eamon? With me?
I'll tell you what, we'll go in and we'll do I think we should do an EVP in there as well and see if we can pick up anything.
Whilst Eamon, Leah, Greg and myself stayed deep in the cellar, Carl and Stuart took a floor each. With all the doors locked, everyone accounted for, we now had every floor covered.
You can shut the door.
Right, that's closed now.
Okay.
Tell you what, I'll go off on my own now.
And I'll
Down
go
here.
upstairs.
You go upstairs, I'll do downstairs.
Right, okay, if you need me, shout.
Yeah,
Oh, vice versa,
keep
yeah?
your phone on as well. Well,
Yeah.
you'll hear me if I shout anyway. Okay.
Okay, well, you go.
I can't see a thing, it's so cold in here.
This place freaks me out. It really, in the daytime it's fantastic, but at night it just has a different feel. And around every corner, you kind of expect to see something you don't really want to see, which is a bit of an oxymoron, really, because that's exactly what we're here to see. I'm scared of seeing what I've come to see. Oh, go on, babe.
My name's Yvette.
My name's Leah.
My name's Eamon.
My name's Greg.
Please let us know if you're there.
Girl, getting into it.
She's taking over now.
Cheers.
Battery's gone on the laptops already.
What?
Yeah.
Should we try a bit on your laptop before it all goes?
Yeah.
When we were filming upstairs earlier on,
Batteries are draining.
In the,
They've been on charge.
yeah, when we were filming in the spinning room, camera turned itself off halfway through the interview, no reason, and Darren's battery ran out, which was freshly charged and normally lasts 3 days.
Alright, let's do this.
So don't be in the least bit surprised if your batteries go down quick.
So, okay. Is there anybody here?
I can just about hear Stuart. Yeah, think you just shouted. No, you're not shouting for me. Right, okay.
That went right by me, that. What's that there? Who was that? Hello? Is there anybody down here with me now? What's Carl doing?
Oh, there is.
I am wanting to something. Let's have a look. I'll amplify that. This will be good going over it afterwards as well to listen to it. He's wanting to be with you.
Oh, like I'm really scared now. I'm not down on my own.
That's so good.
Yeah, he's wanting to be with you.
It sounds like I'm wanting to be with you.
Yeah.
Is Tom there? I am wanting to be with you.
Okay, that's interesting.
Is Tom there? I am wanting to be with you.
Okay, that's interesting.
Is Tom there? I am wanting to be with you.
That's great. That's really good.
That's amazing.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Let's do
So who is Tom? What's
What I do is we'll say that there's.
Why does he want to be with us?
Well, I think he's going to join us in here, to be honest.
I've just heard like a whining sound. Whatever it was whizzed by me. Literally, I could feel the draft on my ear. And I've just heard a whine now. And through here, I've just heard some kind of bang. Almost like a wooden effect. If there's anything in this room with us now, please show yourself. My name's Stuart. How many spirits are in here with us? Please make yourself be known. We know there are spirits with us in here now because we heard you talking earlier on.
Oh, crap. Hello? That. Oh. That's in here. That's down the corridor. Hello? Right, come on, BT.
Do you need my help?
Crying out loud. Oh. Oh. Okay.
Right, I've just heard. Sounded like a door or something. What the is that? Look at that. Right, there's a chair there. I have not put that chair there. I did not move that. Who's put the chair there? Can you come forward? Something's just been thrown. That's poltergeist activity.
And then I'll amplify this because he gives an answer here. There's a waveform. And then let's just listen to that whole question again and see what it sounds like. Because I hope it's not what I think it is. I hope it's not a yes. But I think it might be. Let's have a listen.
That was yes, clear as day.
So Tom is the nasty.
Basically, yeah.
That was yes, clear as day. That was yes, clear as day.
So Tom is the nasty...
Basically, yeah.
What else does he
I was hoping it wasn't him, but...
Well, Tom.
You want to hurt me? Is that why you're throwing things? What do you want to do? Oh! Right, you probably saw that yourself. There's the chair. That chair's moved. You probably caught that on camera. I'm going to have to go in a second because there's no way, there's absolutely no way I'm going to stick it here any longer. That chair has been pushed over. You heard that yourself. Something put that chair there. I didn't do it. You saw it yourself. Now it's been pushed or kicked over by something. I'm going to have to go.
That's in here. Footsteps. It's not down there. When I point the camera in there, it's out here. I point the camera out here, it's in there. God, it's like it's coming from the walls. Hello? You know, I'm gonna call this one because I'm getting a bit freaked out, to be honest.
My, by the way,
It's gone.
fully charged, it's drained the battery.
How bizarre is that? My heart is going... boom, 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 boom. We've had a heart monitor on now.
That's unbelievable, honestly. That is a really good, they're really good EVPs to confirm.
Right, I think we should call it. Come on, let's call it. Hello. Hello.
Tatton Hall will always be one of my favourite locations to investigate. It truly is a haunted building that, in my opinion, is up there with some of the most terrifying in the world. It never fails to deliver, and tonight was no exception.
Do you remember me? You do? Shh. What was that?
Whatever it was, came from nowhere.
Don't leave! Get out! Don't leave me! Don't leave me!
That's what was either thrown or fell, but
Hello?
there's only this door. Oh!
That was yes, clear as day.
Where are you from? Did you hear that? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Oh, yes! Right there! Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone.
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I've brought my team to Hull and to a place that's no stranger to death. In fact, this will be the very first time in the history of Most Haunted that we will be investigating a funeral parlour.
Once forming part of Hull's citadel, this unique listed building was constructed in the late 1800s. It has housed many businesses over the years, including a photographer's and a hairdresser's. But perhaps the most famous is that of a funeral parlour and livery. On the first floor are the stables that once housed magnificent horses that used to pull the hearses containing bodies onto their final resting place. The building and courtyard house an embalming room and a refrigeration room that are now visited by alleged ghosts of the past. The building has a connection with a tragic murder. Mary Jane Langley visited the building to have her photograph taken. It was the last place she was seen alive. Her body was found in a ditch in Long Lane, Preston on July the 30th, 1891. Due to a bungled investigation, the police never found her killer. A fantastic history with supernatural accounts that make your hair stand on end. Poltergeist activity, disembodied voices and dragging noises are just a few of the alleged phenomena that occurs here on a regular basis.
Before bodies were buried or cremated, they would have to be stored in a cold place. Well, this refrigeration room throughout the years would have housed hundreds of bodies. So it's no wonder that this small room is a place to be feared in the dead of night. Now, I've got a plan that the team are going to hate, but you are going to absolutely love. Somebody is going to draw the short straw and have to spend some time on this very comfortable gurney in this horrible room alone. No is not an option. Throughout the 19th and early 20th century, the main form of transport for funerals was, of course, horsepower. And the Anison had plenty of horses and they were all stabled here. Of course, it's empty now, but it's certainly not quiet. Whistling noises, knocking noises, heavy booted footsteps are often heard. But are these noises just echoes of the past? Or is there something more sinister lurking in the shadows? This room is where cadavers were embalmed, lifeless corpses waiting for their last journey. It's just an empty room now, but many people have reported dark moving shapes and thudding noises. But who haunts here and why?
Mick Covell has a special interest in the history of the Anison Funeral Parlour and the ghostly phenomena that occurs here regularly.
Anison's stables and courtyard was built on the site of the North Blockhouse, which was a part of the fortifications in Hull. The Anison company moved here just after 1870, after the Great Fire of Witham, and set up basically a coach building and wheelwright business, and gradually moved into the funeral business and began with their own kind of undertakers here. Interestingly, as well as it being a funeral home and having a number of bodies brought here, when it was the blockhouses, there were a number of Catholics that were held on this site and killed on this site. The stables are one area that you'll probably have knocks and taps. Certainly in the hayloft, we've had people report seeing a gentleman crawling along the floor in there. And this was spotted by numerous individuals on separate occasions. We've also heard some rather loud bangs, doors moving, footsteps on the stairs, a general feeling of unease. In the stable area, people have reported feeling sick. Mary Jane Langley was 18 years old and she'd basically travelled into Hull from a small village on the outskirts called Preston to have a photograph taken at Mr Edmund's photography shop. After having a photograph taken, she left and travelled back home, and on the way home she had her throat cut and she was left in a ditch, murdered. So she visited this place just before she was murdered in 1891. There's been some unusual activity. In terms of Mary Jane, several people hear things that you can't possibly explain, and I've heard things that I'm still looking for an explanation for now, years later, but certainly you guys are in for a real treat.
As always, it was good to see that our regular skeptic Glenn Hunt was on hand to look at the logical side of things.
Glenn, this is a first for Most Haunted, really exciting. We've never done a funeral home before, and I'm hoping that we're going to get some great stuff tonight.
Well, being a funeral home, I'm actually quite sceptical about this, because surely the last place on the planet you'd imagine to be haunted would actually be a funeral home. Because if you think about it, people die elsewhere, and then they just bring bodies here, don't they? So ultimately, it's a place of rest. Why would it be haunted?
Oh, Glenn. Oh, Glenn. What a shame.
What?
What do you think was here before the funeral parlour?
Fields?
Well, actually, there was a prison here.
Okay.
Right, so that puts a completely different spin on it, doesn't it? A prison where people died, people were tortured, and I'm a firm believer of what happened on the ground, what happened on the land beforehand, that could make hauntings occur.
Well, I suppose if you're that mindset now that you're already thinking to yourself, well, it's obviously a place of doom, you're going to expect doom and gloom when you come here tonight and investigate the place. It's already a bit disorientating anyway, because the stables are on the upper ground, whereas the ground floor is where the carriages used to be.
Yeah.
So when you're wandering around in the dark, where you think you should be up, you should be down. That will add to the fear factor, presumably, and with your mindset of thinking this has got to have been a place where horrible things have happened, then ultimately you're going to expect the worst, aren't you?
So there's lots of really spooky places here. You've got the embalming room and the refrigeration room. I mean, the whole place to me is just a really creepy experience.
Well, the things you're referring to are supposedly had taken place before it was a funeral parlour. So if you strip away the cold room and the place where they'd lay out the bodies, then surely the place is a little less scary, isn't it?
Well, we shall see. I've got an experiment where we're all going to draw straws, and the person with the shortest straw is going to end up spending some time alone on the mortuary slab in the refrigeration room, in the dark, in a haunted room.
Right, well, that psychologically would be an interesting experiment, because obviously your mind will be working overtime. And I know it'll seem uncomfortable knowing full well what took place in that particular room as a funeral parlour. You've got to set that aside and just imagine it as an ordinary room. It's eerie, but that doesn't necessarily make it haunted.
So, how do you think you would feel if you got picked tonight?
Well, I could be scared, and that's probably because I am a skeptic, not a cynic. If I was a cynic, I'd just dismiss everything and just rule everything out. But as a skeptic, you've got to have a healthy, open mind. You know, you can sit on the fence and look at both sides of the argument. And if something unusual does go on, yeah, I'm human, so ultimately I might be scratching my head wondering what it is, but I suppose that's what I want to happen, so then I can find out even more exactly what's going on around here.
Scratching your head, you'll be screaming like a baby.
It was time for myself and the rest of the team to look around the location with the lights on.
These really are the most remarkable stables I think I've ever seen. They're just so clean.
Yeah,
As stables go.
Well, I don't think there's any horses been in here for quite some time.
No, that's true. But isn't it amazing? This is on the first floor. So the
Well, I was
horses
gonna say,
would
yeah.
come up the stairs and be housed here. The thing is, when the lights are off in this place, it's pitch black. You can't see a hand in front of your face. I mean, we are close to a main road, so you can hear sort of cars going by and things like that. But there's a lot of strange noises here. Footsteps are heard, dark shadows are heard, whistling, knocking noises.
It's quite echoey though, obviously, so sound can bounce around off the brick walls and off the stone floor, so it does carry.
But what I find fascinating is lots of visitors that come here and they'll spend the night or whatever, and they'll do little investigations, and they will report the same things, which I find very interesting. Rather than sporadic situations occurring, they're all the same things that are happening at the
There's
same
a
time.
lot of different periods here as well, because not only was the horses for the funeral parlour, the mounted police here kept their horses up here after that. But before that, going back a few hundred years, there was part of a castle here where the Protestants killed the Catholic priests here as well.
Yeah.
So we've got all that to look forward to that was on this ground before this place was here.
Yeah, so it's not just a funeral parlour,
It's a
it
lot
goes
of other
back.
things,
Anyway,
yeah.
let's go and look at some other places.
Okay.
What you've got to remember about this place is that there's a lot of newness here. The timbers, the brickwork, it's all pretty new. But you've got to remember what was here before. There's lots of things that will be coming forward that was here before, hundreds of years over the, in the past.
And also, this is a fantastic place for activity because people hear footsteps, and because it's so echoey and so loud, and if you're on your own in here, I mean, it's got to be a really creepy place for you to be in here on your own.
You can feel, it feels icy already, doesn't it, in here?
It is cold outside. We're very close to the outside. There's no heating. Having a coffin here, that's quite emotive. That gives you a sense of your own mortality, doesn't it, really?
I know, and it's a very nice coffin, actually. It's really quite... But you're right, these are sort of trigger objects, aren't they?
Exactly.
That people go, oh, gosh, it's a coffin.
They're going to conjure up things in your mind anyway when you see something like that.
And I think that somebody should lie in here as we're leaving.
Good idea.
Okay, off you go.
No. And I am just going to choose Eamon. Come on, quick, let's get in. Yes, come on. Come on.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? Have you ever been in a coffin before?
No, I think... no, I haven't.
It's not the kind of thing you make a habit of, is it?
No.
Are you a bit shocked at that?
Yeah, this is nice.
Okay. We're going to leave you in here, turn off the lights, leave a camera.
Oh, this is...
It's not going to feel nice, though, remember,
This
because
is quite cosy.
it's going to...
Eamon, are you happy?
Are you happy to do this?
Yeah, go on, I'll give it a go.
But it'll be quite claustrophobic, so your mind won't like
You
it.
okay,
anyway.
Eamon?
Yeah.
You sure? You okay?
Oh, wow.
Are you all right?
Right, come on, let's leave him. Let's go.
You okay?
Yeah, it's not nice.
Come on, let's go. Now this room, very similar to the last one, is, again, you get a lot of knocking noises, a lot of strange whistling sounds, groaning sounds, but underneath this floor is where the embalming would have been, which I wonder whether that's got a lot to do with the activity that we're getting. Did somebody die in this area? Why is there a lot of activity, do you think?
Somebody may have died here a few hundred years ago, perhaps, but not when it was a funeral parlour, because they came here after they died.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the point I was making earlier.
Yes, yeah.
So we're looking at a bit further back than that, perhaps.
Yeah.
But there was a young girl that came in to have a photograph done downstairs. About half an hour later, she was found with a throat slit. So that's one person that they've never found the person that did it.
But not here. The body wasn't found here.
No, this was the last place she came, and probably it was a picture for her mother or something like that, and it was a nice place that she came to have that done, so good memories may bring her back here.
And a lot of people have actually picked up on her, haven't they, through sort of contact boards and so on. They've picked up on her personality and her name.
Mary Jane Langley.
Right, OK. Well, it'd be interesting to see if she comes through this evening, won't it?
Very
I want to turn all the lights off in the building, get cracking straight away. I can hear tapping. I know you can't. I can hear knocking already.
Very easy with this wooden floor, I remember, and the crew just walking around. It just.
Well, there's no one walking around at the moment, though. Everybody's standing still.
Listen. Hang on a minute. There.
Oh yeah, I heard two taps there.
Is anybody moving around?
Shh, just quiet. Just quiet.
It's like the heartbeat sound I got a while ago, isn't it?
So now you can see nobody's moving about. Hello, can you hear me? Let's turn all the lights off in the building. It's starting. Ready?
Before we do that, do we think we should get Eamon out of that coffin?
Why? Coffins never hurt anyone.
Oh, that's unfair, Fred.
Evil.
I've never been in a coffin before. I don't think I'll get him ever again.
Did you call? Well, yeah. Did you call out?
I did. I didn't hear anything.
Nothing.
But you can't really hear too much in here anyway.
No.
So it really is deadly silent.
Come on.
It was time to turn off all the lights and begin our night vision investigation. Carl, Greg, Stuart and Fred went into the chapel area. Leah, Darren, Greg and myself investigated the back corridors and stairs, whilst Eamon monitored our EVP
Can you knock 4 times if you can hear me?
Yes. That was 4 knocks, definitely. I heard that clear. Where did you think that came from?
It's around here somewhere.
The trouble is, the first few felt like they came from around this area, but then it seemed to sort of...
Well, it kind of tapers off, doesn't it? But it's quite a... you can almost feel the vibration coming right under your hands when they're knocking. So
but this is what gets me. When we've experienced it, we sort of kind of say it feels like it's coming from underneath.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who've experienced this have said it's come from underneath. But then...
That was 3 knocks.
Almost pinpoint you'll go, right, actually, no, it's here.
Yeah.
The strongest part is here. It'll come out the wall.
Yeah.
And that's the... So if you're here, can you... We need to know who you are. It's constantly going. We need to communicate. I tell you what, there's a table in the other room. Why don't you try a seance in there?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Stu?
Yeah, I'll do it.
When you get scared, then did you not hear that?
What?
Did anybody hear it?
I don't know what you mean.
Coming up the stairs, I just heard.
No, I didn't hear that. Like a groaning voice.
Yeah, it was not floorboards or anything like that. It was a.
No.
I wonder if you hear that back in the edit.
When you get scared, then when you get scared, then when you get scared, then
I was definitely like a human. Coming first.
Can you knock 4 times if it's you, Mary Jane?
4 definite knocks.
Now does that not sound like it's coming from the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have 5 more activities tonight. Yeah. Good question.
Do you want to ask, or would you rather not?
I'll
From a sceptical point of view?
Yeah, okay. Okay. 2 knocks for yes, please. 1 knock for no. Are we going to have any more activity this evening? Was that 2 knocks for no?
2 knocks. You said 2 knocks for yes, 1 knock for no.
Okay. Can you knock on the walls loudly? What was that?
That was like something on the door, but there's no one there.
No one there would see it.
For the first time tonight, I'm actually starting to feel a bit funny, a bit freaky.
With Eamon at the central hub monitoring everything that was going on, I was keen to find out if we had captured any voice phenomena.
Okay, what have you got?
So this is really interesting. When you went upstairs, when you were just here,
Yeah.
I thought I'd record without any white noise, and it's always a good way to see if there is anything really active that doesn't require any kind of extra energy. So here's the recording, and I want to highlight this waveform here. That's you saying hello.
Yeah.
And that's your response here. So have a listen to this. So this was just talking. So we're just about to hear you say hello, and then you get a strong yes.
Oh.
So
wow.
That's not a bad start, really. I'm going to see what else we can.
Wow, that's great. That's really great.
That's a really good one. So I'll play that again. That was a really good. This is when you went upstairs.
Okay.
And I thought I'll record you guys asking questions.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you can just about hear us upstairs.
Just picking up Yvette. You can hear. She's actually quite distant on here.
Yeah.
But the response
is clear.
Yeah, basically. You say hello and we get a yes.
I wonder if it means that they're channeling all their energy into here rather than making the noises where we are.
Or however we're picking it up, it doesn't need a spot. It's just there. It's in the whole of the ether. And we just happen to be tapping into it. Yeah. We can't hear it.
Yeah.
But whatever whatever you're picking up on, it's interacting with.
Yeah. Well, this is it, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably spend most of my time in here just while everybody's asking questions, I'll see
Yeah.
what kind of responses
That would
I
be
can
brilliant,
get.
yeah.
And if I get anything else interesting, I'll give you guys a shout.
Great.
Brilliant.
Let's go and get the
So-
others and then we'll swap over.
With voices coming through, I knew we could get more, so I left Eamon in charge and joined Carl. He'd seemed to have made contact with an entity that was keen to give us information. By using the Ouija board, we could hopefully find out who or what was talking to us.
So this is where you were with Fred and everyone?
Exactly where we were, Glenn, myself and Fred and Stuart, and we heard the knocks, but they were coming from the table, not from the floor.
Was that-
We did hear knocks coming from the floor.
No, that was Leah's feet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Touch your feet to my feet.
Oh, who's that from?
Just put your...
Glenn, put your feet like this.
What was that, Carl?
What was that?
Knock again.
Over here.
No, it's from the front door.
It's funny, we're hearing knocks, but we're all hearing them from different areas.
Yeah. There's the tapping behind Leah.
What the It was actually underneath me.
Did you feel it?
I don't know because I'm too scared to feel anything.
It's Mary Jane, isn't it? Mary Jane, is that you?
It's underneath my feet.
This
and
is
I'm
what we
not
had before.
Joking. It's actually under my feet.
This is what I was saying before.
It's really scary me. Can I look on the floor?
Yep.
And can I just move my feet? I'm putting my feet on the table. This is... It's underneath.
I heard that.
Yeah.
It is actually vibrating.
Move it back.
What's vibrating, Leah?
I don't know, it's just something underneath me. Whatever is banging underneath
It's
my
like you
chair.
can feel the floorboards vibrating.
Yeah, I can feel it. I know it sounds funny, I can actually feel it on my bum because it's on my chair.
Mary Jane, I've got to ask, who killed you? Do you have his name, Mary Jane?
D. E.
You're knocking.
Can't move the glass for some odd reason.
It's like something stopping the glass.
Yeah.
D-E-D was that?
Or D-E-E.
D. Deem?
Oh well, that's who. Yeah, that's one.
Was
of the,
it?
One of the suspect. Well,
Really?
Well, if it carries on,
Dean.
there's more to it than just that. But there's.
I'm going to put my fingers like this to weight it down, but I'm obviously not moving it. Deem. I. That doesn't work. N. Demon. Oh.
So I'm actually hardly touching this.
Yeah, I'm
glass
hardly
at all.
touching it.
Demon. Demon.
Was it Frederick Deeming?
It's a tapping again.
Tapping. Can you just answer yes on the board? Was it Frederick Deeming? Yes.
Did he kill others?
You know more questions.
I know, and there's one I want to ask.
Go on then.
Okay. Was he Jack the Ripper? Oh, okay. He was. Did you die in 1892? Did you die in 1871? Did you die in 1891?
Is that correct?
Yeah. That's why I took my finger off when it started to move.
Okay.
How many people did he kill? Was it just you?
How many people did he kill? 8 people.
Do you need help? Oh. Oh, lovely. Why do you need help?
Oh, question you were asked earlier. Is he still here with you? Is he around you?
No, that's so sad.
Is this because no one's heard your voice? Is that why he's still here and he can't move on and you can't? Because no one's heard your voice?
What do you mean?
Well, if it's always been seen as an unsolved crime, but because the police made such a bodge up of the investigation, that apparently the only piece of evidence they took to court with them was a twig that they measured his boot print with.
Right.
So it was thrown out. There was no case to answer to, and so her voice, because she was murdered, was never heard. And I think that's gone through history. And if she's saying he did kill her, I know there's not a lot we can do legally on a Ouija board. We can't, but so.
Can we not help you? Can we not do something? Surely now, can we not send you?
He can't hurt you again.
He can't hurt you, but can we not just help you cross over? We can do that. We can do that now.
After helping the alleged spirit of Mary Jane Langley to cross over, I decided that Stuart and Carl should join me in the hayloft area where the ghost of a man has been seen crawling along the floor. The atmosphere was beginning to change, and it wasn't for the better.
Feeling really nervous. I feel like I've not been comfortable here since the moment we set foot in this place.
Are you annoyed at something, or?
No, it's just this feeling of I'm not comfortable and I feel something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. I think there's something nasty.
I felt that there was something negative. Ooh, I can feel that under my feet. Do you mean us harm? Who are you? Are you a murderer?
I think you've just hit the nail on the head.
What?
I'm not psychic, as you know. When you just said that, something's just hit me.
What?
Well, what did we do on the Ouija board?
Picked up on the murderer.
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper?
No, the guy who's
What was
been
his
named as
name?
Frederick Bailey Deeming.
Is that you, Frederick? Oh, you don't like it, do you? Because we've named you, we've outed you. Murderer?
Oh. There was 2 there. There was a huge one in here and one in there at exactly the same time.
Well, that's why I panned. That's why I panned over there, Carl.
Yeah, there was 2. There was 2 exactly the same time.
That one did. That's why I panned to that direction near the coffin, because it was distant. If you're here, please do something else for us rather than tap on the floor.
That's the coffin.
That is the coffin.
Put your hand on the coffin.
That's the coffin. Yes.
Wow. What?
You can actually feel.
Yeah.
You can actually feel that through your hand. Yeah.
What you say? Oh, I don't feel.
Do you want the lid on you, Carl?
Yeah, go on.
Would you like that on? If you hold the camera, I'll do that.
Okay.
Right?
Listen. That's the coffin.
Coming from the coffin.
Listen, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, Frederick. Do your worst, you
Happy?
Very far from happy, mate, but...
Right.
Just make sure you can take this off if I...
Yeah. It's on.
Can you hear hear my voice, Frederick? If you can, then please make a noise. Oh.
I think you can hear it, yes.
No, I've got
No.
my hand flat on the coffin and we can feel scratching and tapping.
I'm hearing like a rubbing sound on the lid. Oh, Frederick. Can you hear that sound?
Yeah. You alright? You okay? What happened?
Did anyone speak then?
No one said a word, Carl. No one said a word.
What did you get? What did you hear?
I'm not doing that.
What did you hear?
I just something in there. None of you was close there and said out.
We were literally on the coffin, but we weren't. We never said a word.
Like it was like on the lid, and it went out, as clear as day, as clear as day.
No,
That's not right.
we never heard anything.
No, we
just the
didn't.
scratching, just the scratching.
Do you reckon we got that on camera, Stuart?
We would have done, yes. Yep. Who's that?
Oh.
It's okay. It's all right.
You alright?
It's fine.
Just had Carl went in the coffin, and those we caught on camera scratching noises.
Where's Carl gone?
You know when you let your arms down like that,
Yeah.
you can't physically do that. Yeah. Right where his head was, there was scratching noises and tapping, and we caught it on camera.
But then something in there said out, and I thought it was Stuart, you know, with his face close to the
Coffin lid.
Coffin lid, and it was just freaking the crap out, and I had to get out of there because there was something in that coffin with me. There's hardly enough room for me in there.
Yeah. Did you say Fredrickson was his name? The killer?
Frederick Bailey Deeming is the person, and I said to him, if it is you, do your worst, and I.
Isn't it interesting? You come to a place like this and
Mate, the whole floor bounced.
What, before Leah moved? And
Yeah,
Carl?
yeah.
I
That's what
felt
made
it
them jump.
underneath my foot.
I've just got Carl jumping. Why, I don't know. Why did you, Carl?
No, I felt like the floor physically pushed.
You felt it.
I didn't feel it under me. I felt it coming from there, and then these two moves almost immediately
The
afterwards.
floor seemed like it raised.
Yes.
And something grabbed hold of my arm at the same time,
Right.
but the floor seemed to, and in my mind I'm probably exaggerating it, but it seemed to come up a good 6 inches.
Yeah.
It was that.
That's
Yeah?
exactly what.
What do you make to that then, Glenn?
That is, well, it's remarkable.
As remarkable as this was, none of us had any idea what was about to happen. But first, one of us had to go it alone in the refrigeration room. But who?
Right, I have come up with a plan, and you're not going to like it, but I think it's a really good plan. I would like somebody to pick a piece of paper. Whoever has got a piece of paper with a black spot on it is the person that has to go and spend some time on their own in a very dark room. It's the refrigeration room on an embalming table where hundreds and hundreds of bodies would have been laid out, and you have to go, and it's haunted. You have to spend some time in there. So I'm going to pick the first piece of paper. Please don't let it be me. It's not me.
No, it's not me.
Okay.
Yes! Fred, that's great. I mean, that's awful. Okay, Fred, so if you go off on your own now, good luck, enjoy, and the rest of us, I think, will split up and start our vigils.
I said we'd pick up some nice demons.
I don't think he's going to survive the night.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
Meanwhile, Carl and Stuart seemed to be drawn back to the corridors and stairs. Would whatever had frightened Carl make itself known to Fred?
Now I'm off to the room where the bodies were stored, and we'll see what happens in here when I call out for a few things. Well, this is the table. By the looks of it, where they were laid out. It's very dark in here.
Well,
Oh, they locked off cameras in the corner.
so cold.
Just as soon as you walk into this place, it's
funny, isn't it? You know, when you come in these places, when you come in en masse, it's not too bad.
Already? What is that?
To be honest, that actually...
That's downstairs.
I can't tell where that's coming from, if the truth was to be known.
Get down the stairs.
To the camera.
It's...
That's my shadow.
No, that's down there, Stu.
It is. Yeah, I think you're right there, pal. Go on.
Oh, crying out loud.
What? So,
I just saw that there's a dark shape there, and it's the coffin lid. I actually...
Oh, yes. I see. If you're coming down on your own without one of these cameras, you'd think it was someone stood there.
How are you feeling down this, Stu?
Well, if I'm going to be totally honest, I don't feel too good. Hang on. That's upstairs, Carl.
No, that's downstairs, mate.
No, it's not. It's upstairs.
This is what gets me with this. I would...
Ask out.
That's just what I feel. Is there any spirit here? Please, can you make a sound? Not once for yes. Sorry, once for no, twice for yes. Do you want us here?
Did you hear something then?
That was a knock.
No,
that was downstairs.
It was a bang.
Yeah.
It was a slight bang. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was downstairs. Where do you think it was from?
I don't know. I just heard a knock.
Conjuro vos santanas plaudire. Come forward and see me. Let me prove to them all that you're there. A lot of people don't believe in you. Show yourself or do something to prove you're here. To prove that you are around, really. What was that? Well, if that's you, you certainly showed yourself then. Can you do that again? This is getting very, very, very hot in here now. I'm gonna have to close this down. I'm gonna close this down now. I'm going back out.
Right, Stu.
So do your absolute worst. We don't mind. Leave everyone else alone. But come and get me and Carl.
Crying out loud, it's gone cold. Really cold in here quickly when you said that. Hello?
I think you're right, Carl.
What a small room. It's horrible in here.
So it must have just been this whole area at the bottom without the stairs.
Yeah, embalming. Is there any spirit here? Listen to those noises, listen to those bangs.
I can hear that. That's coming from upstairs, would you say?
We've got a lock-off camera right at the top.
Do something to one of us. Give Carl a slap round the face. So we know you're here. Give him a good hard slap. We're not frightened of you. I'm not. Nor's Carl.
No.
What? No, what?
I'm not frightened of you.
No.
I need to talk to you about the slap thing.
Well, we've got to do it. It's just one of the things that has to be done.
Well, isn't the conversation...
All right, slap both of us
slap
then.
me around the face, not me as in me, but when you're saying it, me.
Well, you might slap me.
'Cause-
might be reverse psychology. I'm acting as the bully now, aren't I? Slap Carl, it might slap me. If that makes sense. I know what I'm talking about. You might not, but I do.
Mate, I'm with you.
Listen, every time we go off on our own and we do our thing and we call out and we say bad things, I won't repeat it on camera, things do happen.
They do.
Not every time, but 99% of the time, things will go down. And that's what we're hoping for now.
So how are you feeling now?
Just take the camera off me, mate.
How are you feeling? You've been out of breath. Yeah, the trouble is, I'm out of breath, but it's not because I'm unfit. It's just this. It takes the wind out of you, this place. You all right, man?
Yeah.
What
This
were
is
those
how
sounds?
this
What
is
were
how I
those
felt.
knocks?
That's coming from upstairs.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Upstairs, quick, go on. Quick, go.
I'm going as fast as I can. I can't see anything.
Hello?
Is anyone up there?
Yvette, are you there? Hello?
Just panning the camera.
Definitely heard. It sounded to me
We
like
got the
a
lock
drag,
off, so we'll see anything.
like something's being pulled, dragged, or pushed. I can't see a thing, mate. You're my eyes.
I can't.
Yeah, let me have the camera.
All I can see is shadow.
Where? Where's the shadow?
Otherwise, this makes a noise. That
Okay.
top bit.
It's just our
Just our
shadow.
shadows,
Yeah. Just infrared. Right, you tell me what you heard.
I heard it was like a short dragging sound. And the trouble is, I know we're in a.
Let me just sit down a sec. I need to get my breath. Go on.
I know we're in a funeral parlour, but I want to say it's like a body or a coffin or something across the floor.
Yeah, but there is a coffin here, though.
But that's downstairs. It wasn't right above us. It was definitely up here. God, Joe, this place is freaking me out. Shall we get back? Because you're not in a good state. I'm not in a good state.
No, I'm getting my chest are getting more and more tighter now.
Come on, mate. I'm calling this. I'm going to take this. You can't.
What are we
carry
doing?
that.
Are we going on?
No, let's. I think we should get back. Yeah. You're not in a good state.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
It was only until we got into the edit that we discovered what that dragging noise was.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Upstairs, quick. That's coming from upstairs.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Upstairs, quick.
This footage has been carefully analysed, and what we can say is that there doesn't seem to be a logical explanation for this strange occurrence. Could it be the building vibrating from a passing vehicle, as has been suggested, or is it paranormal? You decide. Our EVP experiments seem to have been successful, and Eamon was keen to show me the results.
Okay, what did we get?
Right, well, we got some really good voices actually that came through. This was interesting because when Fred was asking questions earlier, we got something saying, "Say what you want to me."
Oh,
That's quite interesting.
really interesting. That's just
So that obviously links up with Fred. When he was on his own and we've left the
in the
recorders
refrigeration
going.
room.
A lot of people don't believe in you. Show yourself or do something to prove you're here. A lot of people don't believe in you. Show yourself or do something to prove you're here.
Play it to me again.
So that's quite interesting, that.
Interesting. That's totally freaky. That's amazing.
An exceptional night in an exceptional building. We had made contact with the alleged spirit of Mary Jane Langley. Fred Batt had summoned something dark and terrifying, and we had caught a chair moving on its own. What a night.
Was he Jack the Ripper?
When you get scared, then did you not hear that?
What was that?
I don't know because I'm too scared to feel anything.
Oh, Frederick, do your worst.
It's getting very, very, very hot in here now.
It's underneath my feet.
This
and
is
I'm
what we
not
had before.
Joking.
That was the whole floor bounced.
What the? It was actually underneath me.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone.
Hello
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I've brought you to a historical site that has seen kings and many battles, but now has its fair share of ghosts. In this two-part investigation, Most Haunted will take on the might of Fort Paull, and tonight we'll be investigating the paranormal activity that wreaks havoc above ground.
Fort Paull has a long history dating back to 1542, when the infamous King Henry VIII commissioned a defence for the Humber ports and the city of Kingston upon Hull. 100 years later, King Charles I constructed the second Fort Paull just prior to the outbreak of the English Civil War. During this war, considerable cannon fire damaged the structure. The fort was used as a training base between the two world wars, and during World War II it was converted into a magazine serving the Russian convoys. A degaussing station was also added. In 1960 the fort was closed down, but in 1964 the Friends of Fort Paull took over the site and began to restore the fort as a museum. Over time, the fort has been added to and reshaped. It has seen battles, and thousands of men and women have been a part of a British defence that has stood the test of time. Over the years, many people have experienced some strange occurrences at Fort Paull, many of which can't be explained. The ghost of an airman on the huge plane, the Blackburn Beverley. A lady wearing Victorian clothing has been seen in the old train carriage. Dark, sinister shapes and noises have been seen and heard from King Henry VIII's fort. Over the next 2 episodes, we will endeavour to capture some evidence of the paranormal activity that allegedly takes place at Fort Paull.
This transport plane, called the Blackburn Beverley, sits majestically within the walls of Fort Paull. It was first built in 1954 and used in training exercises up and down the Humber. Ghostly footsteps, strange voices, and the ghost of an airman has been seen walking throughout the whole of the plane. Who is he, and why does he haunt? This is a restaurant car of a British military train that would have done many runs from East to West Germany from 1945 right up until 1991. Now, it would have carried many soldiers, but also it carried a king. Not a monarch, but the king of rock and roll. Allegedly, Elvis Presley himself sat in this very carriage. But it's the ghost of a Victorian lady that I'm very keen to talk to. This truly is a mystery train. This is the Henry VIII fort, one of the oldest parts of the building. It's a warren of pitch black tunnels which strikes fear into the most hardened of men. A sinister black mass has been seen rising up in front of visitors and blocking them from an early exit. Demonic voices and people have been grabbed by unseen hands. But who are these entities that reside in this dark, foreboding place?
No stranger to Fort Paull is paranormal investigator Jenny Bryant, a woman who has experienced many strange occurrences that she considers paranormal.
Things that's happened here has been really terrifying. We've had one point where there was about 6 or 7 of us in this room, and a big black mass formed in the doorway. We literally had to walk through that black mass to get out of the room. It wouldn't shift no matter what we did. In the King Henry's tunnel, at one point we heard a noise. We heard like a shuffling noise. When we looked down the corridor, a black mass formed coming up from the ground, and it actually ran at us and we all fell backwards. So there were about 6 or 7 of us that witnessed that. It's just an amazing place. Obviously people have seen spirits, as in like army soldiers, airmen, so I'm assuming it's probably them that we're seeing in these tunnels and in these vault areas. In the Blackburn Beverley, we've heard footsteps, we've seen shadows moving about. One of the other team actually witnessed a pair of legs walking up the gangway towards the plane, which was a bit strange. We've also had people being grabbed and touched in there, so it's a very interesting place. In the train area, at one point we was walking over to the train, and there was a lady figure actually looking out of the window as we walked towards it. There was nobody in there. We went in, absolutely no team, no public, so something else we couldn't explain. The best places for paranormal activity tonight, I would actually say, is this area here, the vault area, the Beverley Plain, the train area as well. When the darkness falls, it's pretty scary. I think you're in for an interesting night.
Our ever-present skeptic Glenn Hunt was on hand to gently remind me to calm down when things get a little scary. With so many ghostly sightings in different buildings and modes of transport, I was keen to get his thoughts on our two-part investigation.
Glenn, great location, fantastic history, 2 investigations, 1 above ground, 1 below. What do you think to the place?
Well, already it's quite atmospheric, isn't it? The whole site lends itself to the unusual, the unexplained, and it's almost like dressed for the occasion, isn't it, I suppose? So already your mind's thinking, well, this looks like a warplane, so I'm expecting something unusual to happen. There's the caves to go underground in, and when that's dark, your mind's going to play all kinds of tricks on you. So ultimately, is the whole thing going to be a trick of the mind just because it looks the part?
Now, already, you've been on some investigations with us now. You've experienced some things that you can't explain. I mean, the knocking, for instance. I mean, we've already been here earlier on today while we've been setting up and filming. We've already experienced some knocking noises. What do you make to that?
It's clear it's some kind of energy. You know, you can't dismiss the fact that it's happening, and it's not fakes. I can honestly say, hand on my heart, that these things do genuinely happen, and they move around the rooms as well, the walls, under the floors, under your own feet as well. There is clearly an energy, but just because we're hearing these noises, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be paranormal. It could be just some kind of energy that science yet hasn't explored yet or understood, and it's worthy of some kind of intensive investigation, I suppose.
And this, of course, is going to be a mecca for Eamon, isn't it, with the EVP, because there's so many different sites. And again, already he's picked up on some voices that are coming through. What do you think he's going to experience tonight?
Well, again, there's always the doubts with it being a radio system. Is there any way somehow there could be some kind of radio interference coming in anyway? That's how it works, ultimately. But the interesting thing about it is the interaction. Eamon can ask a question, and invariably, there's always an appropriate response. How that is happening, again, we'll have to wait and see.
Now, for me, the tunnels are a particular... Because you've already mentioned it's a dark, sinister place, but lots of people have reported this sort of dark shadow coming up from the ground, very, very sinister. Stuart's already had something happen to him. He actually had a horrible a voice in his ear, like laughing in his ear. He shot out, wasn't filming at the time. So things are already happening to us. And for me, the tunnelling system, the Henry VIII Fort, is a place that already I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not sure if I want to go down there. But why is it so many people, visitors, people are reporting the same thing time after time?
Well, obviously they're hearing the stories. Maybe again it's a perceptive thing. That's what they're expecting. They're going in. It feels enclosed around you as well, and ultimately you start to think that you're feeling the same thing as well as everybody else, perhaps. I'd be quite willing to go in there and see exactly if I felt the same way.
On your own?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Pardon?
Are you going to go on your own down in the tunnels?
Yeah, I think I should give that a go, shouldn't I?
I think you should. Yeah. That would be really great. What about the train as well? Again, the whole thing, and similar to the plane, it's a piece of history, but the train obviously goes back to 1945. There's a lot of history going on there. The ghost of a Victorian lady has been seen. I think, for me, anywhere that that's really old, you feel instantly, if you sat in there, you feel a bit, I don't know, it's a bit creepy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that really, because is this Victorian lady said to have died on the train? Was there a carriage? Was there some kind of incident? I can't understand how some kind of ghostly figure can attach itself to something like that when it doesn't have any overall connection. It doesn't make sense to me, unless of course they were on the way to a fancy dress party and they died on the way there.
Or maybe there's a connection with the ground that the train sat on.
Possibly.
Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see.
Overall, what are you going to be looking out for this evening?
Well, Victorian ladies on trains, strange knockings, EVP experiments, that's fine, but unusual, demonic, dark shadows in the underground elements, well, I'd be interested to see if that genuinely happens.
Maybe we need Fred to go in there and summon it up, because if anybody can, he can.
Well, if you believe the stories, you won't need Fred for that.
This unusual and historic site was intriguing us all. We couldn't wait to begin. So with us all assembled, we thought it best to walk around the various exhibits with the lights on.
I love doing investigations on old planes, and we've done a fair few, but this plane was built after the war.
That's right. It was never even in any kind of active service. If anything, it was just used for training missions up and down the Humber. So I can't imagine how it has any connection with anything paranormal, essentially. So.
Well, you say that, that's interesting. The stairs that we've just walked past there, that's where the ghost of an RAF airman has been seen, actually coming down the stairs and stood at the bottom. So there's obviously some sort of connection, and I think there is a very close connection with a gentleman who has had a lot to do with this plane, who passed away a couple of years ago, who may be coming back. You know?
Well, he did a lot of missions abroad in the war, and then when in 1946, when the war was over, he was used as a reserve, and he actually flew this plane up and down the Humber, doing training sessions. So that's, you know, there could be some sort of connection there. So there are people that have worked on this plane that were in the war. It doesn't have to necessarily been on this plane, but on other planes, and they've been to this fort for various reasons.
And of course there's another floor above this. This particular floor would have been with where the wireless operator would have been, so maybe this is a good place for Eamon to come a little bit later on. Let's move on, because there's more to see.
All right.
Fantastic train carriage, beautiful. I absolutely love anything like this with history. But the ghost of a Victorian lady's been seen here, just stood right at the very end. Allegedly, Elvis Presley himself would have come into this carriage and sat down and eaten, which I find absolutely fascinating. But who is the Victorian lady? Why is she connected with this train? Of course, it's not a Victorian train.
True, it's a lot more modern than that, but let's not forget, like the airplane over the field, you know, it's out in the elements, it's exposed, it's a bit weathered, you know, you're bound to hear some rattles and creaks and groans as well with both of these things as well. It doesn't necessarily mean anything you hear tonight will be a paranormal event.
What do you make, Fred, to this train?
The Victorian lady, the rolling stock itself could have come from Victorian times, and plus you had Victorian people here in Victorian times to do with the fort. So it's not just a carriage, it's what used to be here, perhaps.
Yeah, the ground where we're actually sat on at the moment,
right,
which is really interesting. Well, when it goes dark in here, I think this whole train, it's quite cosy now, but it'll take on a completely different feel later on. Come on. Well, here we are in the vaults underground. To me, this is a really creepy place. I do not like it, and I'm not looking forward to having all the lights off in here later on.
It's a bit odd down there.
Yeah, it does.
Well, that's it. Underground, very dark, dismal, damp. You can feel the damp in the air just by moving your arms around in it as well. It's pretty uncomfortable anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but what about the demonic presence, that dark shape that's been seen coming out of the ground?
Something here. You can. Well, I can feel something here. Not very strong yet, but I think later on when I call it up, it'll get a bit stronger.
And can you get rid of it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I wouldn't call it up otherwise.
Fantastic. And why do you think something like this would be here?
A lot of things have probably happened since, I mean, Henry VIII's times. You go back then, paganism, probably a lot of witchcraft around this area, especially near the water. Water is very good for that sort of thing. Very makes it a lot stronger. And also the amount of evil that was done down here, torturing, killing. Soldiers would have, in those days, would have hung, drawn and quartered people down here. Lots going on like that.
Okay. So you think that this demonic presence is maybe come from that time period?
I would have thought so, definitely, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be down here when you do all of that. Come on.
Come on.
With so much ground to cover, we had to split into groups much sooner than usual. So with Glenn, Stuart and Darren in the Blackburn bomber, myself, Carl, Fred and Eamon took the train carriage. With our EVP equipment set up, we were ready to capture any phenomena.
We're here in the train carriage. Eamon, what's been going on EVP?
Well, it's been really active actually. There's been a lot coming through the two-way machine. I went over before to the other building and also got some singular EVPs which have played back, so I'll play them later on. It's been very active on here though, so I think we're going to have a really active night.
Do you want to turn it on now?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get any communication going. And then Carl's on camera as well. We're just going to do our first sort of vigil in the train. Can you please tell me her name, or if you're listening to me, can you introduce yourself?
Did anyone hear anything then?
No.
Yeah, down the end of the carriage.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. It was like a laugh, like a woman's laugh.
It was separate from the speakers.
What's that? Listening to me, can you introduce yourself? Listening to me, can you introduce yourself? Listening to me, can you introduce yourself? Hello? What did you hear?
It was as if when you said about the lady, it was like someone.
Oh really?
It wasn't. It was like a playful.
Yeah, it was a disembodied voice. I mean, it was separate from the actual speakers because I didn't say anything, but I did look down there.
Oh really? So you were? Why
entirely
didn't I
sure.
hear it?
Yeah. Well, you were probably tuning into the EVPs. Things with Eamon. He's
Yeah.
got his ears all over.
Yeah.
He's got it all, everywhere, hasn't he?
Hello, can you hear my voice?
Is there anybody in this aircraft with us now? Any pilots, any crew that used to operate this aeroplane? If you are here, could you please knock on the frame of this aeroplane? Make a big bang if possible.
If there's a lady here, please can you tap or can you make a noise? Hello? Hello? Can you hear it? Can you
Yeah.
hear it? It's tapping. It's getting louder.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a lady I'm talking to? If it's a lady, please can you tap twice? Yes. Okay. Are you connected to the train? Are you connected to this land? Yes. Oh, 3, 4, yeah. Connected to the land, okay. Were you imprisoned here? No. Does that mean no? Give me one tap for no. Okay, no. So you weren't imprisoned here. Did you work here? One tap for no. Did you work here?
That's coming from here.
Is it?
Or is it?
Did you live here? Did you live here? I don't understand it. So you've got a lady here who's connected to the land, but she didn't work here. She wasn't imprisoned here.
Maybe she. I wonder if anyone died here on a visit. I mean, you got to remember, people have been dying all over the place, haven't they?
Yeah.
So somebody could have come here and died, I guess.
Please come and talk to us. Communicate with us in some way if possible. This could be the calm before the storm.
I want something to happen, you know. I want things to.
What would convince you, Glenn?
It's not convincing a need as such. It's finding out the cause of it. I don't deny that events happen and things take place. It's just getting to the actual root of it, really. I couldn't, you know.
Like, there's a cold breeze in here. Oh, the window's open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's a knock, but that could have been anybody's foot just moving gently. Or,
of course.
And sound travels across solid objects quite well, especially in the metal. So, you know, you can't just assume that anything you hear is...
No.
It's when it gets interactive, you know, you could ask a question, ask for 2 knocks, and you get 2 knocks, and you know, why is that happening?
Yeah.
Were you buried here? But is this you who people keep seeing? Yeah, it is. And you're dressed in Victorian clothing, yes?
One.
No.
Just to let you know, as you're asking questions, it's actually on the oscilloscope here. It's actually peaking up. It looks like there's actual answers coming through.
It'd be great to look back at those, won't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Hello, can you say your name for me, please? Tell me your name.
What was that? I thought I heard Richard. I could be wrong. That's what I initially thought.
Tapping, tapping, tapping.
Did you say Richard?
The lady that we were talking to, the lady that's making the tapping noises, is she here? Can you tell me your name?
We'll actually review this recording.
Did you hear that? I heard that.
I heard that.
That was a...
Actually review this recording. Review this recording. Review this recording. Can you see Carl walking?
Come on, tell me your name. Tell us your name.
Oh, do you know, I've just gone really cold.
Me too. My legs.
Yeah, my legs got really, really cold. Just a blast of cold air coming. Oh, freaking me out. That's freaking me out. That's really freaking me out.
What's freaking you out there?
It just is. It just. I'm going really, really cold, and it's every time we ask him. Oh, you're.
That was a cold breath right on the back of my neck. And it's coming from over there. There's something, whenever we turn our backs to it, it doesn't like us turning our backs.
Come on then.
Could you shout your name?
If there's someone here, tell us your name.
I can smell perfume.
Is it
Smell perfume.
down there? We can see.
Is it just me?
No,
Can you
I
smell
can,
it?
yeah, I can.
Carl, let's see what the smell is. Ever so faint, but I'm sure it's there. Or is it just
Oh,
me?
crumbs! No, that's there. That's expensive perfume too.
Reminds me of an old one, like Lily of the Valley or something like that.
But it's got more to it than that. It's more of a delicate, isn't it? It's that.
Hello, are you here? This lady, we're really pleased to meet. That was loud. Oh my gosh, it's really loud tapping, Eamon. Wow, it's coming from this seat.
Sit in the seat, Danny. Sit in the seat.
Hello? Hello? No, it's moved. It's moved to behind you.
That's that seat there.
Could you respond
Yes.
to the tea?
Oh my gosh, it's so loud.
What do you think, Fred?
I don't know. I'm hearing and feeling and seeing everything that Ed is.
Nice for everyone else.
That perfume, that was so. That was
I'm still
really
smelling
strong.
it.
That was really, really strong. That was really strong, and the tapping. There's clearly something here with us. According to the tapping, it's a lady, but according to the EVP, it's a guy as well. And there's a female voice coming through. Do you know? It really freaked me out. I've not heard it as for the first time ever. I really felt that we were talking, or they were really. Every time we asked for something, they were response, weren't they?
Really, it's really active I mean, the male voice on the EVPs was active, and what I noticed was when you were asking if there was a female on the carriage, you could actually hear, it sounded like a female was trying to break through, but you couldn't quite make out what she was saying, but there's like a female tone to the voice because it quickly changed from a deep male to this light female voice,
Right.
but it sounded like it was difficult for her to come through because this male voice was quite, still sort of booming on the speakers, but I think when we review it,
Yeah.
we'll be able to see that.
Clarify, but why is there a very strong male presence here? What is his connection? No one's reported seeing anything here.
Yeah.
There's only a female, so I'm intrigued to find out who this male is.
You've got to remember also, you know, a lot of the people who've been here have been, you know, other ghost groups, and they just may not have been at the same time as this male entity has been here. So just because someone's not seen him doesn't mean he's not here.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen him, but then we haven't seen the female yet.
The other thing is, it could be, this strong male voice could be an entity that's throughout the whole of the building, or just coming through the ether, and is not connected to the building at all.
It
Could
might
be
not
anything.
specifically be something that's in the carriage, it could be something that's just come over.
Yeah.
So again, it's, you know, I'm quite open with that, to be honest.
But that's the thing, as you were saying earlier, Fred, that it could be, it's the area. I mean, don't forget, we've got hundreds of years of history.
We've got 500 years of history here, going back to Henry VIII. You've got the Napoleonic Wars. You've got everything going on here. So it could be anything. We've just got to try and find out what.
Time to swap. I was hopeful that Stuart, Darren and Glenn would encounter more of the phenomena we had just experienced. Now it was our turn on the massive cargo plane, and we were hopeful that we would see at least one of the spirits that is said to haunt.
Hello? Hello there?
What was that?
What was
I
it?
can't even use the torch, so...
What did you hear?
It was like just a tapping sound, a click, or something dropping, or...
Hello? We spoke to you earlier on. Do you remember me?
That's in his nose. Although that's the back of the plane, isn't it?
Hello there, how are you?
That's where we used to drop the people out on parachutes, out the back.
All that noise is
That's coming from the top.
Can you get up to the top of you?
Let's go up the stairs, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
I love it, I love it, I love it so much.
I can still hear it. It's still going.
Is it?
Keep going.
I haven't got a torch here, so...
They're absolutely icy cold. Is that noticeably just dropped that way, or is it...
Like, I don't know, I walk down here and I don't like this end of the train too much.
Okay, let's try down here for a while.
It is, isn't it? It's really cold down here. It's
Oh
funny
yeah,
'cause
it is.
at the
Yeah,
top-
noticeably
at the top end,
cold.
the door's
Yeah.
open. Yeah, but this end is totally sealed.
Is there coats in there or something?
It's like I can't feel a draft. There's no draft. There's no.
There isn't any draft.
It doesn't even feel cold with my hands. It's just this weird sort of
Well-
inside cold sort of.
Windows dropped from 6 Celsius to 5.1 now.
Yeah.
4.9.
There is definitely something trying to draw the energy out of the air here.
Draw the heat out.
4.7.
To see the battery's gone.
Just be careful. Mind your head.
On my face? Oh, it's a moth.
Can you see, Carl?
Yeah, it's all right, mate. I've got the...
Sounds like it came from up here. You're right, Carl.
Yeah.
The only thing is that's sealed off. It was coming from down there.
And that's the bit where the pilot goes, and you can't get in there. Look, it's inside there.
Hello?
There was some tapping then.
Hello?
That was not loud.
I was just about to absolutely poo my pants because I couldn't work out what that was.
They're ready to jump out, aren't they?
Hello.
Of course, it's great telly. Look at the back of your head.
Sorry. Hello there. This is the wire, is it, that they would have held on to when they were jumping out? Hello, if you can hear my voice, can you tap again? Did you used to pilot this plane? You did? 2 for yes, 1 for no. Did you pilot the plane? Did you pilot the plane? No.
No.
Did you fly in the plane?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Yes.
2.
So you flew in the plane. Do you have happy memories of this plane? Yes.
Coming from
4.4, 4.3, 4.2. I'm targeting the window.
Wow.
4 Celsius.
3.
Right, it's dropping. Why is it dropping?
That's just 3.8 now.
Yeah.
3.7, 3.5. Something is dragging the energy out of this place. Thank you. Come on, talk to us then. If you've got all this energy, move something, tap something, throw something at us.
That's getting to the point where it's freezing.
Yeah.
Well, not just yet, but it's getting there.
Below 3 Celsius now.
That's amazing.
2.7.
That is a short space of time, isn't
It
it?
is.
Were you in your 30s? Were you in your 40s? Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah, 40s.
The knocks are weird because they're coming from different areas.
It's hard to locate. It is hard to locate.
But they're different strengths.
Yeah, they are. Some
Almost
really
like it's
strong.
different people.
You see, it was stronger downstairs to what it is up
Yeah,
here.
I thought it was up here, and clearly it's not.
No, I think it was. It sounds like more like it would have been downstairs.
It was
to be
like
honest.
that back bit downstairs that opened up to let things
What?
out.
What? What?
There's no one else in here, is there? That just sounded like somebody was coming up the stairs.
Hello? Is anyone down there?
Listen. There's somebody down there. There's got to be somebody down there.
Be careful.
Just hold on to that for a minute, let me get down.
Be careful, be careful.
Got it? Let's give it a quick knock. Hello? There's no one down there. It was up the far end anyway.
Down here, it was up here, wasn't it?
It was further up here. No, it was, the knocks were the other end.
Yeah.
But I heard something up here, like somebody was in there. No, it's not obviously any of these guys.
Can you make a noise with your voice, please?
That was right behind me.
Hello?
Is that another
Really
section up
loud.
there?
Yeah, it's really loud. Keep still. Hello?
Sorry, I'm just turning around.
Hello? So it's louder down here.
Yeah. Maybe the acoustics
Like
are.
the other end to me down there, doesn't it? To you?
Great.
Yeah.
The back of this opens wide up like that, wide open.
Listen.
It's down there.
I'm hearing it from over there.
No, it's behind you.
Are you?
It's as clear as anything.
Maybe it's acoustics.
No, it's not. It's there.
See, did you hear that? That was over there then.
What's that? I thought it was one of you.
Like a rustling sound.
No, it's far down. So that was me moving then, but if you just listen down there. It's back. Closer to us.
There's nothing blowing in the wind, is there? Because that's a lot.
It's not really.
It's not now. It's not now.
From
Really,
what was it before? It was about 6 Celsius.
It should be
not a minute ago.
6.5 or something like that.
When we started on the window up there, it was 8, and that's just so 3 windows up where we were sat, facing exactly the same direction. That was 8, and we're now on 2.3.
Yeah.
2.2.
And that is accurate.
Yeah, it's just measuring the temperature in the exact same spot. 2.1. 2.
If you can
what?
If you can show where I'm pointing the laser at, Stuart.
What
wow.
What was that?
What was that?
That was a big knock on the roof.
Is that what you've been building your energy up for? Thank you very much for that.
Okay, and it's starting to get warmer again.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Stuart, look at this.
Here.
It's bouncing up.
Right,
It's just gone back down.
Can we have another knock, please?
It's as if it drained all the energy, did a knock, and then it let it go. Thank you for that knock.
Crap, look at it. I'm getting chills.
This is brilliant.
That's freezing cold.
Not quite, but it's getting there.
It is getting there.
1.
Okay.
It needs to get to 0.0.
This is drained from 8 degrees.
Yeah. Come on, then.
No way.
Let's see it get down to freezing point.
It's not freezing outside, is it?
No, it's not.
And it's manageable to walk round.
Right, it's going to get to the point where
come on.
You could freeze water now.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
We're now onto
frozen.
the minus stage now of frozen. And it's at 0.
Right. Do you know what I need to do?
Yeah.
I need to go outside.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah.
And just measure the air temperature on the other side of that window.
Yep, sure, go on.
Yeah.
Then.
Stay here.
Follow you, Stuart.
Relatively quick. I just realised I have to stay here on my own now.
Yeah, well.
You'll be fine.
We'll be right next to you outside.
Do you mean us home? 2 for yes, 1 for no. Are you happy? Are you a man? Gentleman?
My camera broken.
Are you a gentleman?
What was that?
There's that. It was.
Hello? Are you here?
Show yourself to us if you can. Come and introduce yourself to us. My name's Yvette.
My name's Carl.
My name's Eamon.
And I'm Fred.
And we're very pleased to meet you, and we're glad that you're happy. I hope you don't mind us being here.
There was a random knock then.
Yeah, I heard that. Is that your weight? Carl?
I'm not moving at all.
What
was that?
That was over there again.
Let's go down the other end.
Yeah.
You can't go down. You have to go down this way, sweetie. It ends there.
With Glenn exhausting all possibilities for the temperature drop phenomena, the outside proved considerably higher than the carriage. As every paranormal investigator and scientist knows, a drop of more than 2 degrees in a short space of time is considered highly significant, and in this case, completely unexplained. With still so much more to investigate underneath our feet, I decided to do one last room, and who better to take with me but my hubby.
It's just 2 of us.
Yeah.
Going into
Well, they got a display of a dentist's bit in here.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Oh.
I went there earlier to do some GVs, and it's a weird place.
There's tapping already.
Is that not just us?
No.
I wonder sometimes whether this tapping just follows us around for the sake of it.
No, I don't like that. How creepy. Oh, that's horrible.
What's the matter? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, sweetie, where are you? Where are you? What's the matter? Fuck. What's the matter? Ow, what's the matter? Darling, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Somebody just whispered in my ear.
Oh, are you okay? You've hurt yourself.
Yeah,
You've hurt yourself.
I felt something
okay?
touch my head and then I heard something whisper. Oh, I've just hit my arm as well.
Oh, come here, sweetie, sweetie. Sweetie. Sweetie, 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 come here. You okay?
Yeah, turn it off now. Ow.
Although the experience shook me to the core and left me a little bruised, I knew I had to continue and to places that were terrifying. Below ground was not a prospect any of us relished. This place was alarming. You never knew when something was going to happen, and when it did, you'd never forget it.
Well, it's been really active actually.
What was that?
No, it's moved. It's moved to behind you. Listen to me, can you introduce yourself?
They're absolutely icy cold. There is definitely something trying to draw the energy out of the air here.
Did anyone hear anything last
4.4, 4.3, 4.2. I'm targeting the window.
I wonder if anyone died here on a visit.
3.5. Something is dragging the energy out of this place.
And it's at 0.
Tell me your name. Oh, do you know, I've just gone really cold.
Me too, my legs.
Yeah, my legs gone really, really cold. Just a blast of cold air coming. Oh, it's freaking me out. That's freaking me out. That's really freaking me out. I can smell perfume. Every time we ask him, oh, you all right?
Cold breath right in the back of my head then.
I do not like this room one bit.
Oh, that's horrible.
What's the matter? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, sweetie, where are you? Where are you? What's the matter? Fuck. What's the matter? Ow, what's the matter? Darling, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Somebody just whispered in my ear.
Oh, are you okay? You've hurt yourself. You've hurt yourself.
I felt something
okay?
touch my head and then I heard something whisper. Oh, I've just hit my arm as well.
Oh, come here, sweetie, sweetie. Sweetie. Sweetie, 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 come here. You okay?
Yeah, turn it off now.
We all knew we had to continue and to go to places none of us wanted to go. Beneath the ground was next to be investigated. None of us had any idea what was in store. Were we brave enough?
I've got this horrible feeling something's going to happen. I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Whoa.
What?
I'm panicking. Crying out loud.
I didn't want to come down here in the first place. I really didn't.
I am so freaked out. What? Ah! Okay, I'm really freaked out.
The switch had actually turned itself off.
Hey!
You're coming in here, so I want to call it up.
Oh, you're on your own, pal. I'm off.
I don't like it, I'm off.
I gave it legs and ran.
I want to cry. Didn't like it.
Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone. Thank you.